It's the EST Rink Report. Had to get to Game 4. Tom Gazzola with Dan Murphy from Sportsnet out of Vancouver. Murph, it's been a fun series. Lots of drama. No shock there. But in the 3 games we've witnessed, what are some of the things that have really stood out to you so far?
Well, I would say that Edmonton has possessed the puck a lot more than Vancouver. I think games 2 and 3, the shot totals look similar, but I don't think the games were similar.
Okay.
I think the third period of Game 3 was vastly different than that of Game 2, in which the Canucks just defended better. Like, they gave up 22 shots, but I think only 2 high danger.
Right.
Whereas the third period of Game 2, the Oilers took it to them and really, controlled play and had great chances and won the game that way. So I would say, Edmonton has possessed the puck better, and the Canucks have probably defended a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about the goaltender making one more save than the other guy.
Well, that leads into it perfectly, because I think going into this series, maybe a week ago, if we were to say, hey, there'd be a goalie change in this series, I think most of us, even on the Vancouver side, despite what Shelovs was able to do in that series against Nashville, would say, well, they'll probably take out Shelovs and put DeSmith in, or maybe Demko would be ready to go. I know he's nicked up, but we're going to be watching Calvin Pickard start for the Oilers tonight. Can the Canucks take advantage? How do they approach this situation? What do you make of what we've seen from Stuart Skinner?
Yeah, I mean, I like in Game 3, I don't think you'd say any were bad goals. I think probably Oilers fans just say, like, maybe stop one of them, right? The first one's a tough deflection.
Yep.
Maybe Besser's second goal or the Lindholm power play goal. It's like, it's not bad goals, but I think you need to make one save once in a while, like steal a game.
Yes.
And I think Shelovs has been able to do that in this series, make some big saves at key times. And, I think give Rick Talk a little credit. In Game 1, after the 4th goal, he could have pulled him right there.
Yep.
That could have been it.
Yep.
He thought about it. He said, no, I'm using my gut. I'm keeping him in. They won that game with the big comeback, and they stuck with him. So, I mean, I don't think we're seeing Demko in this series. I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't know if the Canucks make it past the Oilers, if he'll be ready for the next round. So I think Shelovs has done a great job. I know that DeSmith could play. And I think that, I think this is the right call for Knoblauch. You got to be bold in the playoffs sometimes.
Right.
And I think that giving him the third period of Game 3, I think to me I said, okay, let's give him some ice.
Yep.
And then we're going to go with him in Game 4. And I like the call.
Murph, you also, eagle eye, as we're setting up to do this hit, you noticed on the bench as Canucks players were going on to their bench for the morning skate, Stu Skinner getting a pep talk from Sam Gagner, who you know during his time with Vancouver. What do you make of that? Because Gagner is a wily veteran. He's here as a black ace, basically.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, right? And it was a very animated conversation, right? They were there for a good 5 minutes. And, Sam Gagner is such a good pro, a good guy. He's been through a lot of experiences, a high draft pick, some disappointment. So I'm sure he has plenty of good advice to pass on to Stu Skinner, who seems like just the nicest stand-up guy there is.
He's a good man.
Yeah, and listening to his press conference yesterday, and handled it so eloquently. He's thoughtful with his answers. There's no BS. He's honest. So you wish nothing but the best for the guy. And I'm sure that's probably Sam saying, like, you're good enough. Like, look, you've been here. You're going to get another chance. Don't worry about it. You're good enough.
Right.
And so I'm sure that's probably the basis of the conversation.
Murph, from a Canucks standpoint, Zadorov gets the fine. Soucy gets the 1-game suspension after the play at the end of the game. How does Rick Tocchet go about adjusting? What are we going to see from Vancouver tonight?
Yeah, well, first off, I think it was the right call. You can't cross-check a guy in the face after the game, whether you intended to or not. A game is reasonably fair, for sure. So they're going to insert Noah Juleson. He's played 1 game in these playoffs. I think it was Game 2 against Nashville. That's his only NHL playoff experience. He's a big guy that loves to physically punish people. Like, he might run out of his way to make a hit tonight.
Sounds like playoff hockey.
Yeah, but you can get in trouble that way too.
Sure.
The good thing is he can kill penalties, because Soucy, he playing 17.5 minutes per game in these playoffs. He saw a lot of matchup minutes against McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yep.
He's an excellent penalty killer, so it's a big loss for them. But Juleson has played well. Like, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people wondered if Juleson was an NHL defender. Right. He really, really proved that he was this year. And there is a bit of a step down, but I think Juleson will be able to handle that role.
3 1-goal games. Are we seeing a 4th tonight?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if you would have asked me to pick a winner going to the series, if I had to pick one, I would have picked the Oilers. But I thought the Canucks it was going to be closer than a lot of people thought, right? Like, I've watched them all year. They beat the Panthers both times. They went 1-0-1 against the Rangers. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes both times. Like, they beat all the good teams, so it wasn't a fluke. But I just think when I looked at the series, Edmonton special teams, and then you've got Connor and Leon. to me, that kind of is a difference. But goaltending can be the great equalizer. Yes. So I think this is going 7. I really do.
I feel like that. I was thinking that this morning on my way in. McDavid and Draisaitl to start separated, different lines, their own lines. We'll see how that works out. Murph, you're right at home in Edmonton. This is your home away from home, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, with the bubble, I was here for 5 weeks, right?
Yes.
And we spent a lot of time together. I love it. It's a nice day today. I might do the River Valley. The smoke's blowing out.
Yep.
So, no complaints here. I just probably should brought my golf clubs for Royal Mayfair. Maybe I'll do that if I'm coming back for Game 6.
Good. Save some time for me. We'll go golfing as well. Dan Murphy, great stuff from Sportsnet. We'll see what happens in Game 4.